Thank y'all for watching. My name is Chani Kinsler, also known as CK the Poet on the Xbox One, and this is my Let's Run It series where I talk about video games that are fun, creative, unique, intuitive, but also have a little bit of an educational element to them that can be enjoyed by both adults and children, and hopefully not putting holes in your pockets. So without further ado, let's run it. This is The Bridge. First off, I'm going to show off a little bit of the menu features, and then I'm going to show off some gameplay. This game right here, it does have a little bit of options, not a whole lot. You can adjust the music volume, sound volume, clear your data so you can start the game from the very beginning. It has vibration controls, and it also shows off the controller mapping, which is important in my opinion, so people that play the game know, what button corresponds to what and what it does. Another thing that I like about this game too as well is look at all these languages. That is a lot of languages. So anybody that decides to play this game, they don't have to worry about, oh, I'm not going to be able to enjoy this game, or I'm not going to be able to play this game because I don't understand the language. They can just change it to the language that corresponds with what they speak, or can read rather. And this is me here as well, also showing off my achievements list. Not a whole lot. I mean, I've only made it to about chapter 3. I haven't beaten the game, and I might go back and try to beat those achievements. And I guess that's something that you get at the bottom there once you complete the game. So I believe the chapters that I'm going to show off are going to be chapters 1, and I'm also going to show off a little bit of chapter 2, and possibly at the end some credits. So without further ado, why did I pick this game for my Let's Run It series? This game, I didn't buy this game. I was able to experience this game through the Xbox Game Pass. So back when Xbox Game Pass came out last year, I believe I got The Bridge, Hue, and the Turing Test. I downloaded a gang of games at the end of 2017, and this was one of them. And to be honest, I never would have been exposed to this game had I not had the Xbox Game Pass. What caught my eye with this game was the art style, the hand-drawn kind of black and white look. It was really interesting. I was like, oh, what is this game about? Oh, this is a puzzle game. Oh, I love puzzle games. So I just installed it and just tried it out, and I ended up playing this game for hours, and I just really saw this game's potential so far as, as a teaching tool. So I'm thinking like, hey, you know what? I think this would be a good game to talk about in my Let's Run It series. So this game right here, it does have the problem solving aspect, the challenging puzzles, the mentally stimulating processes that you have to use to think outside the box on how you're going to solve something, or if there's more than one way to solve something. And this game does a really good job of approaching, puzzles in a different way to where you're using physics. So now you know why I selected this game. So now it's time for a history lesson. The Bridge came out back in February of 2013. It was developed by the Quantum Astrophysicists Guild. Yes, that is the name of their studio, the Quantum Astrophysicists Guild. But I digress. They are a fairly recent independent game developing company that's here based in America. They've been around since about 2012, and this is their first game, The Bridge. Really successful game. Very popular, despite the fact I didn't hear about it until recently. But the reviews on this game are extremely high. There are 3 people that worked on this game. The creator and programmer, Ty Taylor. The artist for the game, Mario Castaneda. And the beautiful music that you hear while I'm playing the game was done by the composer, Kevin MacLeod. And if you're not familiar with the Quantum Astrophysicists Guild, which I would assume most people are not, me personally, I'm not, despite the fact, I've played one of their other games, Tubblestone, a really popular game on the 360 that is also, guess what, backwards compatible on the Xbox One. And if you subscribe to my lovely YouTube channel, you're high possibility you'll see me do a video and a mini post on my WordPress blog about that game in the future. So you're probably thinking like, well, okay, you told me why you picked this game. You told me who made this game. But what is this game? The Bridge is basically a 2D single player logic puzzle game rather. It does have some platforming aspects to it. So if you really like platformer games, like, you'll definitely enjoy this one. And pretty much the objective of the game, it doesn't really have a really robust story, but it doesn't really need one. But the main objective of the game is the main character is trying to get to the door. Trying to, you know, exit the level that you're on. Which usually you do in the forms of getting a key. So you have to basically manipulate things in the level to get to that key and then get to the door so that you can leave. With that being said, some of the mechanics that you'll experience in this game is going to be gravity manipulation, gravitational vortexes, parallel dimensions, and just a different take on the laws of physics than you may have experienced in other games. And this game does it in a very unique way that really was captivating, at least for me. I like that on the developer's website, they say that their inspiration for the art style in the game, or at least the puzzles in the game, were inspired by this artist named MC Escher. Not familiar with his work, you know, but I'm just going to take their word for it. But that's just kind of, you know, nice that they are inspired by someone else and in turn are inspiring other people through their game. You know, just really awesome. Another little thing that I kind of want to add to as well is that this game here has about 24 puzzles. When you beat the game, it does have an alternative ending, which I'm not going to spoil that for you. And when you beat the game, you also have the mirrored version of the game, which adds like kind of a replay value to the game as well, which is really good. That'll be awesome for some people that, you know, once they beat the game, this game is probably like a 5 to 10 hour game, and they'll feel like, okay, I want some more, but hey, there's an alternate version of the game within the game that you can play and enjoy. Something that I read on the developer's website about this game that I thought was really inspiring was when the developer talked about how this game came into existence. And I just thought it was very motivating. The creator, Ty Taylor, he was a mathematics major at his university, and he was close to the end of him graduating. He had to work on his capstone thesis project, or, you know, the final project that you kind of work on right before you graduate. And he kind of needed some help doing, I guess, the artwork for his project, because at the time it wasn't a video game, it was just, you know, a mathematics project. So he enlisted the help of his friend Mario Castaneda. And, you know, I'm just so glad that they decided to continue working together and decided to turn this into a game, something that they did as their final project, because I believe Mario Castaneda, he was minoring in art and he had to work on his final project as well. So that's cool that they were able to collaborate together and to make something that was awesome and then turn it into a video game after they finished college. So you're probably wondering, okay, you know, you don't told us a little bit why you decided to pick this game for your Let's Run It series. You letting us know a little bit of history, a little background with the developers, and telling us what the game is all about. And how do I get this game? Well, I'm gonna tell you, the game is only $10, super cheap. And this game really does feel like a $5 or $10 game, in my opinion. And it's available on multiple platforms. You know, you can play this game on the Windows PC, you can play this game on Linux, you can play this game on OS X, you can play this on the Xbox One, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, the PS Vita, your Android phone. For those of y'all select few people in the world that own a Windows phone, you can play it on there too. Amazon Fire TV, the Wii U, Nintendo Switch, and the Ouya. I mean, does the Ouya even still exist? I'm pretty sure that they went bankrupt some years ago. But hey, if you still own the Ouya, you can play this game on the Ouya. And I'm probably like boggling the minds of so many people that's watching this video. They're probably wondering like, what is the Ouya? That is another video. That's a whole nother video. But with that being said, another thing that I kind of wanted to mention as well is that I'm doing 2 videos this week outside of my normal 1 video a week. I'm doing The Bridge, which is this game, and Hue, which is another game. Both of them are part of the Xbox Game Pass. And why I decided to pick both of these games for this week is because they are leaving the Xbox Game Pass in September of 2018. So that gives you 2 months, probably a little bit longer. It all depends on what part of the month it leaves in September to play this game. And I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the Game Pass, because I decided to do two games this week, not just because both of these games are leaving the Game Pass, but because of such the exciting news from E3 this past weekend. And for those of y'all that's not familiar with E3 is, it basically stands for Electronic Expo. It's basically where people show off their games and their consoles. And it was awesome. Some of the amazing games that were showed off. Some of the games that I just have to buy. Not that I just want to buy them. They just have to be bought. They have to reach my hands. And I'm excited. I'm pumped. And I was really impressed with Xbox's conference and the little bit that they showed off for their games, and also talking about their Xbox Game Pass. And I was just really inspired with what they said about what they want to do with the Xbox Game Pass. They want more people playing games, because in the past, if you didn't know, a lot of people had to pick and choose what games that they played or bought, because everybody just didn't have a whole lot of money back then. Even nowadays, some people still don't have money to buy every single game that comes out, let alone every single game that they want. So, you know, back in the day, a lot of people, we were either children back then, or we just didn't have no money, or you didn't have a job, or if you had a job, you didn't make a whole lot of money. So a lot of times you could only afford one game a year. You had to wait a whole year until the game dropped in price to get the game. So Microsoft is saying, hey, you know, you don't have to do that anymore. Instead of you only saying, hey, I can only buy 2 $60 games this year, you don't have to do that. You could just play them all, which is awesome. You know, and then them announcing that they're adding The Division, or they did add The Division, Fallout 4, and Elder Scrolls Online to the Xbox Game Pass. That is huge. Those are really popular games, some of which have been out for a while but still extremely popular to this day. That is big. Those 3 games all together, you would normally spend probably $150 to $160, maybe $200. It just depends on what version of it you buy. And you only get that for what? $10 a month. And on top of that, with the Xbox Game Pass, they're charging people $1 for their first month, and then after that, $10 a month, or if you prefer, $100 a year. That's a steal to play any game that's part of the Xbox Game Pass. And it lets you know when it's leaving the Game Pass. Some games, there is no date on it, which means it's just gonna stay on there for as long as, until the developers say that they want it to come off the Game Pass. And there's some games that do have a definitive date that it's leaving the Xbox Game Pass. And then you have recently Xbox announced that they added all of their Microsoft exclusives to the Xbox Game Pass. That is huge. You cannot ignore that. There's no way that you can ignore, you know, Microsoft exclusive games on top of the games that get added, that the developers agree to have added to the Xbox Game Pass. That's just stealing money right there. You know, so now you don't feel like you have to take the risk of buying something that you don't like. You could just play it and then say, oh, I really like this game, so you know what, I'm going to go ahead and buy it. You know, and that's an awesome giving players choice, or giving the consumer choice. And I believe they also recently started adding their Xbox original games too as well. I think they're starting with mostly the exclusives, but some of the exclusives can't be added. Like, for example, Mass Effect was originally an Xbox exclusive when it was on the Xbox original. But by the time that, you know, it's 2018, Mass Effect, they're a multi-plat game. So, you know, you gotta have to like work with developers and like, you know, get their permission before you start doing stuff like the backwards compatible thing that Xbox has been doing on top of the Xbox Game Pass. So with that being said, You know, I'm not trying to, you know, sell you nothing or anything like that. This is mainly for this little tidbit towards the end here that I'm talking about is mainly for people that have an Xbox or the Xbox One, to be more specifically, because I'm not quite sure if the Game Pass is on the 360. And those people that, you know, are using the Xbox app on their computer, you know, it's an awesome deal. Check it out. $1 for the first month, then $10 a month after, $100 or $100 a year. You know, you get the Xbox original games that they add and that are their Xbox exclusives, Xbox 360 games that they add to the Game Pass and also their exclusives from the 360. And then you got the Xbox One games, all Xbox One games that are Microsoft exclusives from the past and into the future and present will be on the Xbox Game Pass. That is awesome. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, in the past I wouldn't have recommended Xbox Game Pass, but now with all of that, it's just hard to ignore. It's a high possibility that I will also be getting it for the year. That's just something that you just can't ignore, you know. And I thought that would be just good to let people know, you know, in this video that, hey, if you weren't sure about getting Game Pass in the past, I would definitely get it now to try The Bridge and the other game that I'm going to be talking about in my other video, Q. And I believe the other game I talked about in my previous video, the Turing Test. So, with that being said, I just wanted to say thank you for watching this video. I hope that I piqued your interest with the video and also the little mini blog that I did on this game. I will have the blog's website in the comments below. If you like this and it catches your interest, you know, like, favorite, subscribe, and all that good stuff, but definitely share. That's the most important thing, you know, and stay tuned because you're going to see some more stuff from me and other stuff that's outside of my Let's Run It series, because even on my WordPress website, I also have a lot of my poetry that I'm starting to put on there as well. But this game right here, The Bridge, it's good. There's no games that I'm going to be putting on my Let's Run It series that are not good games. This game is really good. I can really see you getting this game for yourself, or just trying a game out of your comfort zone, or getting this for a family member or a friend, or even buying it for a young child to try to expose them to other games that require them to think outside the box, use their brain, and, you know, not be so inclined to always play those violent video games or those games that are fighting games or racing games. Something to where, you know, they use their brain a little bit more, think a little bit more. And this game right here will definitely challenge you mentally. But thank you for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this. Peace.